Does your space also look like this? Because this is a metaphor for my life. No matter how often I clean and get organized, within a few weeks to months' time, it always ends up back like this. And I think I'm closer to reaching like some sort of peace, that this type of mess is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also not really helpful either. Because every time I look at this mess, I get discouraged, I get frustrated, clueless. Quite frankly, I feel like a slob. How could I possibly be more productive in a space where I don't know where something is, I'm tripping over things, or I'm ashamed to let anyone see? I think there always seems to be two sides to this conversation. One person who's always like super organized, and the other who's a mess that always likes to quote Albert Einstein. If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, of what then is an empty desk a sign? Wow, poetry. But also, like, who would argue with someone like Einstein having a valid point? I think the bottom line, it just boils down to semantics. You know what environment you do well in based on your own personality and whatever season of headspace you're in. Because I do think people sway in either direction. Sometimes I live in a phase where I need everything to be spotless and I obsess over cleanliness. It's often a sign that I'm actually procrastinating something that I just don't want to do. So I rationalize cleaning being more important, but that's a different story. And then I have some phases like this. The last couple of months have been busy with travel and work and assignments, and also trying to maintain some sort of personal creative consistency within all that. I say yes to other people a lot more than I say yes to myself, and that's a gateway to being in this situation. So today I've reached another roadblock. I can't look at this anymore or be creatively productive in a place where like I don't even know where certain cables are. I already spent a day this week purging my studio and my closet for throwing away like old boxes, but I just hit a point where I needed to put my foot down and toss boxes for things that I've owned for well over a year, and just to create some more space to breathe. And today is starting with these little storage bins. Baby steps. This shelf is just really like a dump it shelf. Computer things, my music things, camera rig accessories, and just cables galore. Today we're going to start with organizing things into these little storage bins. Have this pretty sweet labeler. All right. There we go. Full tray. That's satisfying. I gotta order a couple more of those because I have a lot more smaller parts on my shelf here that could be organized better. I don't really want this video to just be like, hey, watch me clean this room kind of thing. But at least today was just the start, and I'm continuing to like purge through small things that I know I don't need anymore.
One eternity later.
Hi, got some updates. Okay, I've done a better job at like organizing like this shelf thing right now. Now everything has like its own dedicated storage bin. Lovely, look at that. I set up my yearly calendar and already started planning things for 2024. I moved my bass guitar over here because it just feels a little bit cleaner. When I'm not using my MIDI keyboard, I clean the top of this so I can just lay it on the top. This is a work in progress still, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. Anyway, there's a space. Let's get back to the video. Goodbye. Practicality of your own state of cleanliness. So my main creative outlet in life is music, creating, writing, producing my own music. I don't do it for other people. I don't do it as a means to make money. I don't do it as my livelihood. So that already creates a line in the sand for what is practical for me. So being a little bit more messy doesn't really inhibit me from surviving. For other people that do this as a career, you kind of need to have a space that's clean enough for hosting clients and recording sessions or like things of that manner. If this is you, let me know in the comments how you keep up with your own sort of organization. I think at some point you just got to be honest with yourself. I think as someone who usually falls into the messier category, it's easier to rationalize being messy as a means to just being more creative instead of facing the truth of simply, I'm just being lazy and I'm looking for an excuse that doesn't make me look or feel like a lesser person for succumbing to a bad habit. It's a hard pill to swallow, and you don't have to fix that full steam head on. Growth happens at your own pace. But also, like, maybe there's a third category that I'm just forgetting to mention. Like someone who appears to be obsessed with cleanliness, but deeper down has their own way of masking a certain mess on the outside, like a Monica closet. Maybe this is like your absurd disorganization with your download folder, or like your virtual instrument libraries. Maybe it's even your taxes, because who has those sorted? If you feel attacked in any way, let's be friends.